26 News at 6 begins with what parents and students need to know about the attire and attitude expected at high school football games. Good evening, I'm Christine O'Donnell, and thanks for joining us on this Football Friday. School leaders say it's an exciting time, but it's also important that everyone follows the rules. Richmond County Schools Public Safety is making sure last year's dress code and behavior standards are enforced. They say baggy pants and/or pants that just hang too low are not allowed. And there are some specific dress guidelines for ladies. Restrictions include clothes that just show too much skin, like low-cut tops, shirts that expose your midriff, mini skirts, and short skirts. Behavior will also be monitored as officers look for football fans who get too rowdy.
The students at the football game, they come under the same jurisdiction under the Student Code of Conduct. So it is the same. So we expect them to adhere to the same rules and regulations as they do in school, because it is a school activity. And
these restrictions are not just in Richmond County. We're told Columbia and Aiken County schools have a similar code of conduct for their high school football games. Well, it's a proactive program that aims to get kids to say no to drugs. Richmond County Board of Education's police chief is teaming up with the Drug Enforcement Administration to help kids understand the dangers of drug use. Arnavita Fergani shows us the strong message he told students at Pine Hill Middle School.
It was an interactive way to teach kids the importance of staying away from drugs.
Our 26 News Crime Alert begins with a manhunt for a suspected murderer. Most schools in South Augusta and Hephzibah were on a soft lockdown today as deputies searched for a murder suspect. Franklin Wright is wanted in the deaths of 2 women in Aiken County last month, as well as the brutal beating of an Augusta store owner Wednesday night. Investigators have been looking for him for 48 hours now. The search area stretches from parts of Blythe and Hephzibah. They tell us Wright is armed and on foot. His unknown whereabouts has many people who live and work in that area on edge. One pharmacy worker who didn't want to be identified says she saw Wright yesterday. At the time, she didn't know he was a murder suspect, but says he looked uneasy.
My brother's staying with me. My parents are locking the doors and calling.
This is normally a quiet little Hephzibah town, and for something like that to go off here, you know, it's trouble for the person, not for the people.
Deputies are warning people in that area to use caution and to call the sheriff's office if they have any information on Wright. Well, bond could not be set for the North Augusta man accused in the brutal sexual assault of a 3-year-old girl. Heath Wetherington is charged with first-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor because that crime carries a possible life sentence. Bond can only be set in circuit court. Wetherington was told he could have no contact with the child or the child's family. Our news partner, the Aiken Standard, was at today's hearing. Investigators say the sexual battery happened between October and December of 2009. First Fridays are getting brighter thanks to the federal government. A $2.7 million stimulus project will help the Downtown Development Authority purchase new street lights. They will line Broad Street, and city leaders say they will be an asset to downtown.
Well, it's going to increase the pedestrian lighting along the sidewalks. It's also going to be, more aesthetically pleasing than what's out there right now. And then just from an overall maintenance, we're going to also provide power for amenities such as events downtown, so that'll also be included.
The project will go from 5th Street to 13th. And happening right now, talks are underway about the closing of a troubled Aiken County railroad track. It's located near Highway 421 in Bath. The crossing was closed and marked unsafe by the Department of Transportation. Many people who live in that area say the closure is diverting them to an area with heavier traffic. At tonight's meeting, they will have a chance to voice their concerns to Aiken County and DOT leaders. South Carolina leaders are looking to gas stations to help boost their bottom line. A panel setting taxes in the state is recommending an increase in the gasoline tax to fund road repairs. South Carolina's gas tax is 16 cents a gallon and hasn't changed since 1987. The panel will send recommendations to state lawmakers in January. Well, tonight, Hurricane Earl is racing up the East Coast as a weaker Category 1 storm. But even though it's been downgraded, officials are warning New Englanders not to take it too lightly. They say many beaches will have a dangerously high surf. So, Rich Rogers, how high can one of those surfs get when a hurricane is coming to town?
Well, it depends on the strength of the hurricane, and you know, Earl is definitely weakening, so we don't have to worry too much about that. But we may have to worry. We're over here. We may have to
we're over
worry.
here.
Yes, we may have to worry about the next storm, and that is the remnants of Gaston out there in the Atlantic. So we might have to watch that, but it's got a ways to go before it gets here.
And Fiona is just,
Gone. Fiona is gone. Thankfully, we've got one less to worry about.
we don't have to worry about her. Well, thank you
That's
so
right.
much.